Bitcoin and Litecoin decision time soon. Which way might we go? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Saturday. We're going to take a look at the charts, starting out with Litecoin, then moving on to Bitcoin, taking a look at more of our immediate targets, also looking at the long term. And then we're going to look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. If you haven't seen that, definitely stick around and check it out, and I'll show you why I believe we're going to hit 46,000 by the end of the year. Also, don't forget, we have a free Discord group. Awesome community, guys. There's always people in there that'll help you out asking questions and learning. And, you know, I've watched people grow in there and they're charting and stuff. So definitely check it out. Best community in crypto for sure. Also, there's some affiliate links down there in the description box below, along with the link to the free Discord. So just click the description of the video and they'll pop up down there. There's also some Bitcoin address and Litecoin address for tips, and some other affiliate links in there. Ledger, if you know, not your keys, not your crypto. Get your crypto off the exchanges if you're not trading it. There's also some other ones. There's a exchange link in there, Prime XBT. If you use the promo code Crypto Savvy, they give you an extra 20% when you make a deposit on there. But it's 100 times leverage, guys. If you're not used to trading and you're new, I definitely don't suggest it. 100 times leverage can be extremely dangerous, and it's more gambling. Anyways, let's get on to the video and see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it is still a speculative market, so don't put in more than you're willing to lose, guys. And with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. And then if you tick the notification bell, that'll get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post every day and try to keep everybody updated. So definitely don't forget to do that. Also, guys, if you could, take a second out, smash the likes, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video, and yeah, let's see what's going on here. So we've been watching this with a neckline at around the $100 area, looking at this as a cup and a handle. And the measured move off that, which I believe we're still headed to, is 180. So we're going to take a look at the more immediate price targets too, but I'm going to look at the long term. And then when we switch over into the 4-hour chart, we're going to look at the bearish scenario and then the bullish scenario also. So looking at this as a rising broadening wedge in the yellow, and we've stayed in it pretty well. I also have this white line in here, and that makes this a rising channel. And where we're at right now, I believe that if we were to, I have a target here, and I'll show you how I got it around the 165 range. If we were to break up out of this wedge from there, my target area then is around the 273 range, guys. And I have rearranged these targets just a little bit. You know, we got to change them as the market changes. So that would be my target there. Now, if we were to crawl up this channel to get to our 180 and then break from there, the measured move off that, guys, is around the $300 range. That's not to say that's our limit for the end of the year. Like I said, I do believe it's possible we get to 600 to 1,000 by the end of the year in Litecoin and 46,000 in Bitcoin, and we'll talk about that later. So that's where I'm at right now. Let's look at the RSI. If we look at the RSI here, we were in this rising channel, and then we fell into a falling channel. And now we are still within this falling channel. I do believe we're most likely going to have a move up, but keep in mind it's possible that we go down, and we will look at that in the RSI. Let's look at, see if we see any divergence here. Obviously, we're still getting a little divergence. We look here at, this is the low in the price, the low in the RSI, and then we have a higher low in the price, lower low in the RSI. So that's hidden bullish divergence, guys. Let's go into the 4-hour now, RSI. And looking at the 4-hour RSI, you guys that have been watching know how all this came about. We watched it the whole way. We had a falling channel here. We had a wedge within it, broke out of the wedge into a falling channel, into another, and into another. And this is where we're at now. Looking here, if we drew a line, this is why I'm still bullish here. If we draw a line right in here, this could be a bull flag, and our next move up, if we take a measured move, and you can do this off the RSI, guys. Obviously, you have to look at the price action to figure the price, but we took it here and went up. That would align perfectly with our trend line up top here, the blue line. So definitely a possibility, guys. Keep an eye out for that, and we'll look at what prices to watch for all that to happen. Go into the 4 hour now, and same thing. Let's look at the bearish scenario first. I do not believe the bearish scenario is going to play out, but I do want to show you guys so we are ready for anything. So as you can see, I've drawn this trend line from these peaks here, and we'll get into that in a minute when we look at the bullish scenario. But the bottom of this channel here, if we look at this channel, this yellow line is the top of that rising broadening wedge here, and I have these blue lines with a rising broadening wedge also. And if you use the bottom of the blue and the top of the yellow, we have a channel in there which we've been staying within. So let's look at the possibilities of what's going on here. I do have, we'll start out with the bearish scenario. In the bearish scenario, we come back down and test the bottom of this channel, and that's around the 113 area. And I would expect a bounce from there and go up if we are even to come down here. If that was the break, guys, our next area supports the $100 range. And then after that, if that wasn't to hold, which if we got down there, I would expect that to hold. If it didn't, though, we would be looking at the $86 range. We go back into the daily, that would be right at the 200 EMA right here. So that's where I get that target. Now, worst case scenario, we come down to the $60 range. I think that's highly unlikely, guys, but that would be a measured move off of the channel and to where we would break out, and that would get us down here, which would also be the bottom of this rising broadening wedge. So it is a possibility. I think it's unlikely, but it is possible, and we need to take a look at, whoops, I just moved that. We need to take a look at, you know, all our options. So, but we do know what areas to watch, and if these areas start breaking, then we know what's going on. But now here's what I believe is going to happen, and we would do a measured move. I know people are looking at this as a A, B, and a C, which could definitely still be possible. That target gets us down to that $100 range, but I don't believe that's what's going on here, guys, and I'll show you what I do believe. So what I do think is we'll probably come up, most likely, and test the top of this trend line here, drawn off these peaks, and that'd be around the 128 range. And if we're to break up out of that, guys, we're looking at the $165 range. And as we talked about before, you know, we may get up in here and get rejection off of the top of this channel and then float on up to our 180. But if we were to break from here, my measured move off that is that 218 area, which would also be from these wicks down here. I've drawn this trend line, and this is kind of a timeline if it works out correct, and that would be around the 12th, 13th, somewhere in there of July. Getting to the 218 range would be the measured move off of that. Now, if we were to travel up to the 180 before breaking above this channel, then we'd be looking at the 235 range, and that would be more along the end of July, somewhere in there. So, and again, the timeline's not exact, guys, but the targets can be very accurate, and we've already looked at our higher targets. So that's where I'm at with Litecoin. Let's move on to Bitcoin and see what's going on here. All right, so I've adjusted these targets now also, and we had been looking at this rising broadening wedge in Bitcoin. We had a measured move of where we broke out here, which was the 9600 range, and we broke through that.
Also, let me show you guys how I believe that we are still in a parabolic market and we're going to continue to be. If you notice here, we have a falling channel that we broke out of, into a rising channel, broke out of, into another rising channel, broke out of, into a steeper rising channel, broke out of, and I do believe we're going to possibly form another one here, and that's all parabolic, guys. We are in a parabolic bull market. I don't care what anybody says. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Also, quick rant, guys. I always got to do this. Don't pay those paid groups, those VIP guys. It's all a scam. If they're that good at trading, they wouldn't be charging for their services. They do that to mitigate their risk, because they're probably not even trading most likely anymore. And if they are, they're just using your money to trade because they're losing their money. I hate to see people get ripped off and chased out of the space by getting involved with these scammers and paying them ridiculous amounts of money to learn the basics, which you can learn absolutely free all over the internet, guys. Don't get paid for that crap. They can't teach you experience out of their stupid basic videos. The only way to get experience is to trade and learn experience and actually gain experience, and that takes time. So don't get screwed by that crap, guys. Don't quit paying for their lavish lifestyles, drug habits, and gambling habits. My rant's over with that. Also, I wanted to mention that I'm going to try to get with Bitcoin Ben and see if we can get a Northern Ohio meetup going. I have other few people involved, and we're going to see what we can do. If you're in the Northern Ohio, Michigan, Indiana area, we're going to be trying to get a meetup in there. So anyways, all right, sorry about that, guys. Just wanted to get that out there. Now we're going to look at the well, first we're going to continue looking at our targets here. So all right, let's see where I'm at here. All right, so looking at this target, 14,394 is my target here, and we'll take a look at that in a 4-hour. But looking at these trend lines, could be looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, and if we were to break out here, guys, my target is 25,000 right in that area. And then if we measured this as the rising channel here, and we broke out in that area, it's around the 17,000, between 17 and 18,000. We'll have to see where we break out. Again, them targets change depending on where we break out on this rising wedge. So also another target there would be measuring this whole thing as a rising channel, and that'd be around the 19,800 range. Again, that could change depending on where we break out of this. We may not break out till way over here. Who knows? So anyways, let's take a look at the RSI. Excuse me. And looking at the RSI, we had a rising channel that we were in forever. We had this line drawn across the top, and the RSI looks like a triple top. But I do believe, obviously, we fell out of this in a falling channel, broke out of that, tried to get back in the channel, hit our target up here, came back down, and we did have a target of, I think it was 13.6, and we hit 13.8, so we were pretty close, guys. So anyways, then we've broken out of this falling channel and came back down, tested it for support. This obviously looked like a inverse head and shoulders, so it is possible we continue down a little bit from here, guys. But let's look at first of all, see if we have any divergence to look at. And not so much right now in that, but let's look at the 4-hour, and then, like I said, we'll look at the bearish scenario. So in the 4-hour, we have these trend lines drawn in here. If you guys have been watching the channel, you know we've watched all this unravel together. I'm not going to go into all that, but I am going to go into where we're at now. Now, if you look at this, we had going off these peaks with the trend line. We broke out of that, came back down, tested it for support. Definitely possible we go back up, and we'll look at the 1-hour RSI. I don't usually do that, but I want to show you something in it. So, and then if we use this bottom line along with this top trend line, it could be a broadening wedge. So we have a possibility of coming down here again, guys. So keep that in mind when we look at the price action. What I'm going to show you now is where the RSI aligns with that. So here's the line, which in the RSI would be this yellow line, and then this bottom one obviously would be this line. So is it possible we come up here, get rejected, and come all the way back down to the 8,900 area? It is possible, but I do believe if we go down, which the longer we stay up here, the less likely I think we're to go down, guys, would be around the 10,000 we would get support. And if that was to break, then we'd be looking at that 89 level. Like I said, I don't see it. I'm pretty bullish here. I don't believe we're going to continue down. I could be wrong, but you know, that's what the TA is telling me. So I'm going to look at that 1 hour RSI real quick. Whoops, that's a daily. Wanted to show you this real quick. If you watched the live stream last night, I had these trend lines drawn in here and said that looked like a bull flag in the RSI. Sure enough, we broke through, and it looks like we are forming another bull flag in the RSI. And if we look at that in the price action, the measured move off of that, guys, would be, I don't know where my measured move went, so let's put that in here real quick. Would be measuring this as a flagpole down to where it broke out down here. And if we move it up to where we would break out, we're around the $12,000 range, somewhere in there, guys. So that's what I'm looking at in the more immediate. Let's go into the 4 hour and kind of see what's going on in there. All right, so this is what I'm looking at in the 4 hour for the more immediate time frames. There's my measured move off that little triangle there. Looking at this as a bull flag, we would do a measured move off of here to where we break out, which would probably be in the next 4 hour. If we break up, guys, keep in mind we could break down also, and that would get us around the 10.8 level again. And we've talked about it before. I do believe that this trend line here should hold us up, and if it does, we're very bullish then. Also want to look at the RSIs real quick, and the RSIs are staying above the 55 EMA here. Or I'm sorry, not the RSIs, the EMAs. We've broke through over here and we've stayed above. Now if we fall back down and these cross the 55, then obviously we're looking for, you know, that $10,000 range. But I'm pretty confident that we move up from here, guys. Now let's take a look at the other measured moves I have here. So on this one, the measured move off of here would be, where did I get this target? Would be measuring this as the flagpole and the breakout of this line. That gets us up to the 14.3 area, which would also be the top of this trend line here. Another way to get that target was to measure this falling wedge here and where we broke out, and that gets us the same area. So those are confluent. They're both pointing towards the same area. That's why I do believe we are headed up to the 14.3 area at least, guys. And you know, once we get there, we may get a little rejection, create another bull flag, and if we can break above this trend line, that's going to be super bullish. Then we start looking at our higher targets here. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. We've already went through how I got these targets in the daily, but right now these are the areas I want to watch. Right here at the $12,000 range, which would be the top of this broadening wedge. I'm going to take another look here. If we were to break out there, the measured move off of a falling wedge would actually be a little bit higher. That would be around the 14.7 range, and we had that target in there, and I moved it to this, so I will put that in there also. That's very possible. If we get that target, then I think we'll get support off of, let me move that so you can see them. I believe we could get support off of the top of this line then and have a massive move up to our next targets. And once we get up here, we may come back down, test this for support, and continue on up. So anyways, obviously I'm still very bullish here, guys. I have no reason not to be. Yeah, let's take a look at our Bitcoin daily chart versus our gold weekly chart. This is my target for the end of the year, guys, around the $46,000 to $47,000 range, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Take a good look at this. I believe a pattern is a pattern, period. I still believe there's some huge news coming from Bitcoin very soon, any day now. Could Could be, you know, another 60 days, but we're going to get some huge news, and it's possibly going to be the ETF. Who knows? But show me the charts, I'll tell you the news, and I'm telling you there is some huge news coming just by the looks of the charts. Now I'm going to go over to the gold weekly chart. Take a look at that. As you can see, I have the same trend line here. I drew it off these wicks here in the bear market. This was our support, came across, and you can see we're hanging around that line now. We've broken through, come back, broke under it. Now we're testing it for support again. And if you look, there's a blue line here too, which I drew off of these wicks, which were support in the bear market before we broke through 6,000. Keep an eye on all that. And if you can see the resemblance, guys, remember, a pattern's a pattern. Human emotion is human emotion. It always plays out the same. So I believe we're right in this area, and this is what we have coming for us, guys. I do believe that, and that's why I get my target of 46,000 by the end of the year. And believe me, that could be conservative. We could go much higher. But that's my conservative target, 46 to 47,000 by the end of the year, guys. I also have the blue line drawn in here, and if you look, and that could change in Bitcoin depending on where we get resistance after we pass the all-time high. But as you can see here, it went there, it came back down, tested for support on the white line. That would be a pretty deep correction. I don't think we're going to have that, but we'll watch and see, and we'll chart it along the way. That's why I do daily updates. We really keep a close eye on this market and try to stay ahead of the game. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. I'll switch back and forth. You guys can just check out the resemblance for yourself. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely looks like the same play out. If you look at gold, we had we had two touches on this long-term support line on the bottom. We did the same thing in Bitcoin, two touches on it. It's just amazing, guys. This pattern seems to be playing out beautifully. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. But anyways, yeah, that's what we're looking at there. I also want to show you the RSI. We're going to look at the weekly RSI in Bitcoin, and we've been watching this since January, guys, on this channel. You can go back and check the video. We watched it all the way. We've been watching this since right in here. This whole chart. We've been watching the Bitcoin chart. Whoops. Since way back in January over here. The Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly we've been watching since January. The only channel that's followed it in depth. So anyways, you'll probably start seeing a lot more people do it because it's played out so beautifully. Anyways, 2013 bull market, drew a trend line here. It was followed by the bear market. We had two touches of resistance on this trend line before breaking through, starting the bull market. 2017, same trend line, guys. 2018 bear market, two touches of resistance before breaking through and beginning the bull market. Let's look at the monthly. We have these two arcs drawn in here. This is the 2013 bull market, 2017 bull market. 2013 bull market, each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI. There was 4 of them before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market, followed by the bear market. 4 arrows, each one representing a new low in the RSI before continuing up. Only difference here, guys, is this is going to be much quicker, in my opinion. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely consider subscribing by ticking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. That'll get you subscribed. Tick the notification bell. That'll get you notified when I post new videos. Take a second out, guys. Smash the likes. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to check out the free Discord in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.